Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. Please grab that last coffee, find a seat. Thank you. All right, thank you. So, good morning again, and on behalf of the City Colleges of Chicago's Board of Trustees, welcome to Building Towards Equity in Higher Education, a deep dive into City Colleges of Chicago's learning agenda. I am Beth Swanson, Vice Chair of the City College's Board of Trustees, and I'm also the CEO of a philanthropy here in Chicago called A Better Chicago. And I get to be your MC today, so you get to see lots of me. And I'm going to try to keep us on track. That's been drilled into my head by the folks running this. So I will try to keep us on the agenda. We've got lots to cover. As a trustee, I get to see City College's faculty, staff, and students work up close. I see our faculty and staff's passion for serving our students. I get to meet inspiring students who have really overcome a number of obstacles often to reach their goals here. And City Colleges is truly driven by the mission of student service, which I think you will hear throughout this day. One of Chancellor Juan Salgado's observations early in his tenure was that in order to best serve our students, City Colleges just shouldn't hunker down and implement and internalize, but rather we should really actually open up the City Colleges. It needed to open up to partners, to researchers, to experts in the field who could bring their unique perspectives and improve the City College's programs and services to students and families. 5 years ago, under the Chancellor's leadership and under the oversight of Provost Mark Potter, City Colleges launched its first ever learning agenda. Through this effort, it made a commitment to use data to drive continuous improvement and to build research practice partnerships with several outside research organizations. These partnerships have begun to pay dividends, informing everything from how City Colleges supports early academic momentum to holistic wraparound services and supports, including scaling up City College's relationship with student support organization 1 Million Degrees, which we'll get to hear more about today. So we are here today to highlight the lessons learned so far. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Malcolm X College and President David Sanders and his excellent team for hosting us here today. I'd also like to thank all of the faculty, staff, students, and partner volunteers from the City Colleges and the University of Chicago, so thank you for making this happen. This symposium is made possible through the generous support of 2 City Colleges partners, the University of Chicago's Inclusive Economy Lab and the University of Chicago's Office of Civic Engagement. And City Colleges has really seen its relationship with U of C grow over the last 5 years. As you will hear today, that relationship now encompasses a wide-ranging collaboration agreement touching several university departments and schools. And today we are fortunate to have Dean Catherine Baker of the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy to say a few words. So Dean Baker.
So I am thrilled to be here. As you've heard, I'm Dean of the Harris School of Public Policy at the University of Chicago, and I'm a health economist. I study the U.S. healthcare system and access to healthcare and how public safety net programs can improve or fail to improve that access. So I'm deeply appreciative of the learning work that is going on here. The Harris School, is dedicated to rigorous evaluation, which would be no surprise to anyone. And there's so many programs that seem like wonderful ideas, that are really well motivated, that in practice don't pan out the way people had hoped. And it takes really brave leadership to look at those programs seriously, to say what's working, what's not working, how can we invest resources in programs that are really serving the people that we're trying to serve, and what should we stop doing because it's not working? And having partners who are willing to link arms and do that hard work so that we can actually improve outcomes for all of the people that we care about collectively, that's crucial to making progress on so many important issues in healthcare, in education, in economic opportunity, in alleviation of environmental hazards, in so many different things. And so as a university partner dedicated to that kind of endeavor, I'm so grateful to have the leadership of Chancellor Salgado and Provost Potter to be able to work together to try to do this kind of work. The Harris School has multiple projects underway with City Colleges, and I think that you'll hear about some really exciting work today that hopefully will be inspiring to all of you to partner in this as well. The partnership's a great example of figuring out pathways to success and what matters for different constituencies coming from different places. The 1 Million Degree Program is a wonderful example of how focused interventions can really support students coming from all sorts of different backgrounds to succeed. And that kind of evaluation partnered with implementation has taught us a lot and helped a lot of students through what is a wonderful program here at City Colleges, but also I think is inspiring to entities around the country to say, look at what's happening here, look at what's working, and how can we implement programs like that as well. So it's really rewarding, I think, for all of us engaged in it to be able to say not only have we launched a wonderful program here, but we've provided the information that's necessary for other people around the country to implement similar programs. So to me, that is incredibly inspiring. And you'll hear about how you can take data from students' high school experiences to better learn how to support them through their college experience and on into their careers. And there's a lot of information in the world today that we didn't have before. Taking advantage of all of the data that will help us tailor programs to individual needs is an opportunity that we didn't used to have, but it's not easy. It's easy to get misled about programs that are not tailored to the population that needs them, that are not going to work on the ground. Lots of things look good on paper that don't work in practice. And what we have here is an example of hard work together to find out what works in practice to support students. So you'll hear from those students, you'll hear from faculty, you'll hear from supporters, and I think that that'll provide a lot of insight into how a true learning environment can constantly improve. And we have to be asking every day, what would work even better? What can we do more? What should we change so that we can do an even better job going forward? And the spirit of that, as I say, takes really bold leadership. It takes dedication, and it takes subsuming ego to the greater good. And that's what we have here in the leadership. And so I'm really excited to introduce to you both Chancellor Salgado and Dr. Mark Potter, who are exemplars of that kind of leadership and partnership. Chancellor Salgado himself is a proud graduate of community colleges and has worked to implement programs here, not only including the one that you're going to hear about next, but also making sure that students can graduate without the kind of debt that would change their career trajectories, that would limit their opportunities after school. And that's, of course, crucial. We want people to be able to take advantage of community colleges and educational opportunities, to succeed when they're here, and then to have the world of possibilities open afterwards. And so partnering that kind of investment with innovative debt forgiveness programs, for example, is one way to really unleash that potential that we know that all of the students served by City Colleges have, including 50,000 students across 7 colleges. So this is an enormous population, and this kind of leadership will make a difference in tens of thousands of lives immediately. Chancellor Salgado is joined by Dr. Mark Potter, who's his partner. I won't even say partner in crime because it's not funny. It's, in being able to make sure the academic programs are at the cutting edge of what's needed for today's world, and making sure students are equipped for all of the possibilities that they will face when they graduate into a world with evolving labor markets, with evolving opportunities. So that kind of innovation, I think, is crucial to success today. And they've both dedicated themselves to serving underserved populations and to making sure that there are pathways from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. And that is a crucial function for our city, but also, as I mentioned, an exemplar for colleges around the country. And so I'm really proud to be able to introduce them, and I share all of your gratitude for their work and for their partnership, and I welcome you to the stage.
So Dean Baker, we had the fortune of being at a dinner at the end of 2022, right? And then here we are today. And so, even though I met you for the first time at that dinner, we're going to make it a quarterly meeting now, okay? Or some sort of quarterly gathering to ensure that the good work that we're doing, right, continues on for a long, long time, right? Because it's good for our institutions. And most of all, it's good for our students. So thank you to the team, to the whole U Chicago. Thank you to everybody joining us today, right? Whether you're here in person or you're online. You know, one of the biggest reasons we wanted to do this was just that. Have an opportunity to sincerely say thank you, okay? Sincerely say thank you. So if anything you take away from the day today, you know, please take away our utmost gratitude to everyone that has been involved in this learning agenda. Our funding partners, when I say our, I mean our, right? Whether the funding comes to city colleges or to our research partners, right? If you have provided any resource whatsoever, you know, we really appreciate that resource. And it's going to very good use, okay? To our student support partners, right? And there are many of you in the room that help us to support our students. We certainly don't do this alone and can't do it alone. To our faculty, our staff, you know, our administrators who are here because we firmly believe in the mission of this institution. We firmly believe in our students. We wake up every single day, right? You know, with that perspective of care and care for our mission and care for the people that rely on our mission. And so to staff from across and faculty and other partners, other higher ed institutions who similarly wake up every day, who receive our students, you know, upon transfer, and who provide additive resources and are part of a community of higher ed institutions that, you know, together make a pathway for our students towards success. So thank you all and welcome, bienvenidos, okay? I forgot to say good morning. Sorry, I got right into it, right? You know, in my house, if I don't say good morning, I'm almost messed up. I get in real trouble, right? So let's not get in real trouble. Let's look at the opportunity. I do want to share, you know, Beth shared a little bit about this, but, you know, I spent a couple decades in the not-for-profit arena, right? Leading a not-for-profit organization. And I always like to give perspective. Many of you are not-for-profit leaders yourself or have been in the industry. And it's this wonderful thing, you know, in the not-for-profit space is you have to partner, right? There's only one pathway to getting anything done within a not-for-profit reality with so few resources under your direct control, right? That it is abundantly clear that you have to and want to work with many others, and you have to get good at working with others, and that you can actually find multiplying impacts, right, as a result of doing so. So, you know, it's not just insufficient resources, it's oftentimes, you know, bandwidth challenges, but really expertise oftentimes. You know, we just don't have the expertise. And that's true here as well. You know, when I arrived here at City Colleges, I did find what we have today and have had for many years: passionate faculty and staff and absolutely inspiring students. But also an opportunity, right, for City Colleges to be more effective in its work by bringing others inside the institution, and an opportunity to build trust with the wider community. And inside the institution, you know, there's no, you know, deeper place that we can be inside the institution than in direct contact with our students, then looking at our information and our data and offering critical feedback, offering critique, helping us to improve, what we're doing, right? So not on the sidelines, right? But in the game, right? So what I appreciate, very much is that, many of your institutions have put your trust in us, because if we've asked you to come closer, right, to dive deeper, which you have done, it's because you've put your trust in us. And again, I want you to walk away today feeling the gratitude that we have as an institution for you. University of Chicago, for your support of this event and the many relationships we have built across multiple departments. Thank you to the Community College Research Center, the American Institutes of Research, the Aspen Institute, and the many thoughtful philanthropic partners who work alongside us. Thank you to partners like Chicago Public Schools through the Chicago Roadmap and their investment and our investment of time and energy to make sure that that relationship is as tight as it ever was in the past and will continue to be in the future in order to benefit our students, our families, and our city. Thank you to organizations like 1 Million Degrees that has a laser focus on supporting our students, and a model that works incredibly well, and one that we are committed to continue to grow and expand because we're committed to helping our students grow and prosper. I want to thank all of those on our team, too, by the way. This is a big shout of gratitude to the City Colleges of the team, to opening yourself up to scrutiny, to our faculty, staff, and leadership. It's not easy to receive information sometimes, especially if it's not, you're so mission-driven. We're so mission-driven. If we receive information that something is maybe not working so well, right, or could be better, the fact that we've taken that, openly, and then, embraced it and moved forward, I'm deeply appreciative of that as well. And, just know overall that this is an institution, not just an institution of higher learning, but we are ourselves an institution that learns, right? We are ourselves every day better at being a learning institution, ever growing, ever evolving, ever improving. We have a 5-year strategic framework that guides us. We established that in 2020, and within it, there's a sharpened focus on the learning agenda that we've established. Our vision is very clear. We are we're recognized as the city's most accessible higher education engine of socioeconomic mobility and racial equity, empowering all Chicagoans to take part in building a stronger and more just city. There's no way to separate us as a higher institution from our aspirations for our city, because within our institution, we have a key ingredient, a key part of what is necessary to be the city that we all want to be and aspire to be, but are not yet where we need to be. And so we're guided by strategic levers of equity, exceptional student experience, economic responsiveness, excellence, collaboration, and institutional health. These things are very important, the most important of which is the exceptional student experience, and that driven towards equity. More equitable student outcomes are the underlying goal of all of the work you will learn about today. That is why we're calling this event Building Towards Equity in Higher Education. And we hope that you will learn here, what you will learn here will not only showcase our growth, but will help other colleges, universities, K-12 institutions achieve greater equity in outcomes. City College's students inspire all of us each and every day. They are, as you know, first in their family to go to college, 3/4 of which our students are Black, Latinx. They care for their loved ones, their parents, themselves. They're working while going to school. They're overcoming whatever obstacle is in their way in order to persist, continue, and achieve their dreams. The obstacles are not small, they're large, but we are with you, our students, every single step of the way. And we believe that if we properly support them, they can reach any goal they set for themselves. But we must be positioned to properly support them. And working together with researchers and funders, faculty and staff, we can provide together the quality educational experience and services to ensure all of our students reach their goals. I'm gonna turn this over now to a person. Go ahead and sit down for a minute, Mark, because I get to talk to you about it a little bit. He's just ready to come in because all of you that know Provost Potter, you know, he just gets right into the work, right? And does very well in that regard, right? But Dean Baker did mention that you're a partner and an extraordinary partner, okay? You know, one of the great things that our Board of Trustees did while they were doing a search for a chancellor, they did a simultaneous search for a provost. And so I was given a gift, right? And the gift is, you know, a set of finalist candidates. And within them, a wonderful gift of this incredible professional that's deeply dedicated to, you know, the service of students at the end of the day. I remember the conversation about the service to students, that we are here in every respect, not for ourselves. We are here to really dive deep into making sure that in every way our students are cared for, our students are well prepared, and our students are prosperous. And I will just say that this learning agenda, you know, while it embodies my values, my beliefs, and the direction that I wanted this institution to go in, you know, the reality is that the actual construct of this learning agenda, the partnerships that have been built, the specific projects that we're working on, the team that works with the provost and the presidents that works with the provost, all of the elements that have led to today's success and have allowed this symposium to be what it is today, you know, are thanks to Dr. Mark Potter's leadership and his ability to work with many others in order to achieve this goal. So I said I was deeply appreciative. You should walk away understanding my gratitude, and I want to make sure that Dr. Mark Potter also knows that I'm deeply appreciative and that you have my sincere gratitude. So, Mark?
Thank you, Juan. You may remember that when we first started talking about what it is that we've envisioned for these partnerships with researchers, we were talking in terms of a research agenda. That's what we were calling this. But as we reflected together on what it is that we had as our vision for partnering with researchers, we quickly came to the realization that this was really more about learning and organizational learning, and that sort of aligned with the values that we shared as we were putting together this vision for what then became City College's learning agenda. And with the support of an anonymous donor, we were able to get to work fairly quickly. This goes back 5 years ago to 2017, when the Chancellor, as he mentioned, brought me on as provost. And with the support of an anonymous donor, we were able to get to work pretty quickly in pulling together the elements of the learning agenda. 5 years ago, however, City colleges lacked the infrastructure for a learning agenda. We didn't have protocols or procedures in place for data sharing agreements. We didn't have standard practices for vetting research projects against institutional priorities. And most importantly, we didn't have the actual research partnerships in place. we were starting from scratch. And I want to share just a little vignette that illustrates how much we were, in fact, starting from scratch. I still recall vividly the little impromptu celebration we had among a small group of City College's data analysts and administrators back at the former district office building on Jackson Street when the chancellor signed our first ever data sharing agreement with CPS. We came together in a room, he sat at a table, he signed this, we all applauded, gave each other high fives. We saw this as a major milestone for City Colleges, a moment worthy of celebration because it represented a step forward in collaborating with CPS. Of course, what we didn't know at the time is that we underestimated how easy it would be, or the challenge, the lift of actually sharing the data with this data sharing agreement in place. It took another couple of years, in fact, to fully refine our processes to the point where now we know exactly how to put in place new scopes of data sharing across 2 or sometimes multiple organizations, whether that data sharing is for operational effectiveness in supporting our students or for research and learning. And along the way, I have to say, we got a big lift from partners at the University of Chicago who learned and refined and perfected how to link student data across the 2 organizations so that we can understand students' longitudinal progression. So I share all of this to illustrate how far we've come, how we built the infrastructure, we designed the processes, and we leaned into partnership, all of which helped get us where we are today with the learning agenda. And the research partnerships are truly the most critical element of that learning agenda that have enabled it to have a transformational impact on City Colleges. We're, of course, open to collaboration with researchers who seek us out, who come to City Colleges with their own research questions, research projects, and want to have access to City Colleges data and students, and sometimes partner with us, and we vet those projects in light of both our students' interests and our strategic priorities. But it's the deeper, enduring partnerships that are reciprocal and mutually beneficial that truly power the learning agenda. Our most valued research partners get to know us up close. They learn our data definitions, they know our students and their journeys, they understand our pathways and our policies, they learn from our administrators, they engage with our faculty directly and learn from our faculty and from our students, and they co-create research projects with us. They do all this, though, while maintaining an agnostic stance toward any findings, valuing the organizational learning that comes from research, and always careful to employ rigorous and unbiased methods that stand up to scrutiny. And these deep transformational partnerships that we've cultivated over the last 5 years have led to some significant organizational learning and action by City Colleges. For example, we've reaffirmed our commitment to put in place and offer student basic needs supports following the Real College Survey conducted in partnership with the Hope Center at Temple University. We've worked to maximize student momentum into and through college-level math and English by making significant adjustments to placement using insights from the Inclusive Economy Lab. We've developed collaborative neighborhood strategies within Chicago's adult learner ecosystem following a research collaboration with the Urban Institute. And stemming from the Inclusive Economy Lab's work with OMD and City Colleges, about which you'll hear more today, we've developed greater understanding of the holistic supports that together lead to higher rates of enrollment, persistence, and completion, and we've taken action to scale those supports. We have some current research projects underway also that have tremendous promise to yield us actionable results and findings. We're poised in partnership to help City Colleges strengthen our centers of excellence that lead the way in workforce development in Chicago's most important economic sectors. This project is with the American Institutes for Research. To understand enrollment patterns in relation to persistence and completion with the Inclusive Economy Lab, and to understand the impact of early college enrollment on student success, both in high school and in college. And that project is in partnership with the Consortium on School Research. So we're excited today to showcase a sample, just a sample, of these partnerships and the impact they've had on City Colleges of Chicago. Time doesn't allow us to include or to showcase everything on the agenda today, but I do want to reiterate the appreciation and thanks that the Chancellor mentioned to some of those research entities, such as the Consortium on School Research at University of Chicago, the Urban Institute, the Hope Center at Temple University, and NORC at the University of Chicago. And I anticipate, that's in addition to the partners that you'll hear from today, and I anticipate that the list of our Learning Agenda partners will only grow from this point forward. And I, for one, look forward to seeing what the next 5 years, and I think Carmelo and I talked last night about maybe doing this in another 5 years and celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Learning Agenda and what we have been able to put into action as a result. And I, for one, look forward to seeing what the next 5 years of City Colleges of Chicago's Learning Agenda brings. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Provost Potter. Finally, to conclude this welcome section, we have Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. And first and foremost, thank all of you for joining us today to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of the City College's Learning Agenda. I'd like to thank Chancellor Salgado and the entire team at City Colleges for their work to ensure our residents are supported in their learning journey. Their hard work is evidenced by the fact that City Colleges outperformed the state and national averages for fall enrollment last year. Congratulations, because this is a huge accomplishment and comes after City Colleges launched targeted efforts to enhance and expand college resources in recent years, especially in the aftermath of COVID-19. Today is all about showcasing the organizational learning at City Colleges that has been informed by transformative research partnerships, as well as celebrating the continuation of that work with 1 million degrees and the University of Chicago. This kind of collaboration continues to yield important insights on real-time student experiences and current educational practice outcomes and effectiveness. This symposium aims to leverage these learnings and prepare us for whatever comes next for City Colleges. To City Colleges and their partners, congratulations on reaching this important milestone. And to everyone who came here today to learn, thank you for your commitment to Chicago students and equity in higher education.